Psst, you're a man. Alien girl pulled human into bunker of 1,000 women. The universe had a sick sense of humor. The universe had a sick sense of humor. Ronald Vesco learned this at age 6, when his parents sold him for 3 days' worth of food rations. He learned it again at 10, when the junkyard owner, who'd taken him and died, choking on a fishbone, the first real meal they'd shared in months. And he learned it once more at 15, when the Planetary Patent Office laughed him out of the building, calling his atmospheric converter design the fever dream of a trash-picking orphan. That design now powered 37 terraformed worlds. At 34, Ronald Vesco owned Starforge Horizons Corporation, the largest planetary development company in the known galaxy. His face appeared on currency in 12 systems. His name was synonymous with human expansion across the stars. Trillions of credits flowed through accounts that carried his signature. And yet, as he stared out through the reinforced glass of his flagship's observation deck, watching a dead world rotate slowly below, Ronald felt the same hollow ache he'd known as a child crouched beside scrap heaps, wondering whether tomorrow would hurt more than today. Mr. Vesco, his assistant said softly behind him. We're entering orbit. Ronald didn't turn. Good, he said. Let's see what they didn't want me to fix. 1. The world that refused him. Caris 9 was officially labeled non-viable. Too dry. Too unstable. Too politically inconvenient. The planet's native species, the Tethari, had petitioned the Galactic Development Council for aid for nearly a decade. Every request had been denied. The reports called them non-strategic, economically inefficient, culturally resistant. Ronald recognized the language. It was the same tone used when people talked about orphans. Atmospheres collapsing, the science officer reported. Water tables contaminated. Their cities won't last another 5 years. Ronald finally turned. And yet, he said calmly, they're still alive. Yes, sir. That's usually where I come in. 2. Ghosts in the boardroom. The board meeting was predictably hostile. This is charity, one executive snapped. There's no return on investment. There is, Ronald replied. Just not one you can quantify yet. Another scoffed. You're risking the company's reputation on a species that doesn't even trust humans. Ronald folded his hands. They shouldn't, he said. Trust is expensive. Silence followed. I grew up on people's leftovers, Ronald continued. Every breakthrough this company owns was built by someone who was told they weren't worth the effort. So forgive me if I don't abandon an entire world because it's inconvenient. The vote passed by a single margin. Ronald smiled thinly. The universe hated irony. 3. First contact, second chances. The Tethari city of Ulcerek was carved into stone cliffs, its structures woven from crystal and living root. Their people were tall, ash-skinned, eyes glowing faintly amber, evolution shaped by harsh suns and harder choices. They met Ronald with weapons lowered but ready. You are the human who owns air, their speaker said bluntly. Ronald inclined his head. I prefer leases it. That earned a ripple of surprise. You come too late, the speaker continued. We have buried children this season. Ronald's jaw tightened. So did I, he said quietly. Once. He knelt, an intentional breach of protocol, and placed a small device on the ground. My converter doesn't just filter air, he said. It teaches planets how to heal themselves. The Tethari stared. Hope, Ronald knew, was always dangerous. For the widow who didn't bow. She found him 3 days later. Sarin, leader of the Cliff Wards. Widow. Mother. You give us air, she said. What do you take? Ronald didn't answer immediately. He looked out over the city, at children playing beneath fragile domes. I take nothing you can't afford to lose, he said. I already know what it costs to lose everything. Sarin studied him with eyes that had watched too many funerals. My mate trusted humans once, she said. He died for it. Ronald nodded. Then don't trust me. That stopped her. What? Judge me, he said. Over time. I'm not here to be believed. I'm here to be useful. For the first time, Sarin looked uncertain. 5. Building what others wouldn't. The work was brutal. Converter pylons had to be placed deep in unstable terrain. Ronald worked alongside engineers and locals alike, hands blistered, clothes torn. He slept in a basic shelter, ate ration stew. The press hated it. His stock dipped. He didn't care. One night, a Tethari child approached him, holding a crude drawing of a machine and a sun. "For you," the child said. Ronald accepted it carefully. "When I was your age," he said softly, "people told me ideas were worthless unless someone rich believed in them." The child frowned. Were they wrong? Ronald smiled. Very. 6. Sabotage. The explosion came without warning. One of the main pylons collapsed, taking 3 workers with it. Alarm screamed. Dust filled the sky. Ronald ran toward the wreckage before anyone could stop him. Saren grabbed his arm. "It's unstable." "So was my childhood," Ronald snapped, wrenching free. They pulled survivors from the debris. They found sabotage markers, corporate grade. Competition. Someone wanted Caris 9 to fail. Ronald stood amid the wreckage, blood on his hands, not all of it his. The universe wasn't finished with him yet. 7. The choice. His advisors begged him to pull out. "This is no longer viable," they said. "You've proven your point." Ronald stared at the damaged pylon. "No," he said. "I've proven theirs." He authorized a full rebuild at triple cost. His stock plummeted. Currencies with his face on them were withdrawn in 2 systems. For the first time in decades, Ronald Vesco was bleeding. He laughed quietly. "Guess I still know how this part works." 8. Breathing again. It took 6 months. When the converters finally synchronized, the sky above Ulcerec shifted, from sickly yellow to soft blue. The air tasted clean. Children ran without masks. Saren stood beside Ronald, silent. "You could have walked away," she said. "I tried that once," Ronald replied. "Didn't like who I became." She bowed, not in submission, but respect. "The Tethari remember who stays," she said. Ronald felt something loosen in his chest. Epilogue. The joke turns. A year later, Caris 9 was listed as self-sustaining. Other companies rushed to claim credit. Ronald let them talk. He returned to his flagship, pausing before the observation glass. The universe still had a sick sense of humor. But this time, it had laughed with him, not at him. And for the first time since he was 6 years old, Ronald Vesco believed the joke might finally be over.